Hi everyone, happy Monstrous Monday and welcome to Shivers. For today's Halloween haunt review, we're talking about Field of Screams in Mountville, Pennsylvania, which currently ranks at #1 on America's Best Haunt list, scaring over 1 million visitors to date from all around the world. Field of Screams was also named #1 by USA Today, featured on the Travel Channel, The Howard Stern Show, Time Magazine, Oprah Magazine, and Newsweek. This year marks the 30th year that Field of Screams is open, bringing in just as many travelers for this monumental mark that it has for the past years. Field of Screams offers 4 attractions for visitors: the Den of Darkness, Frightmare Asylum, Nocturnal Wasteland, and the Haunted Hayride. Each attraction, aside from the Hayride, is a walkthrough, and the actors can touch you and separate you from your group. I went to Field of Screams back in 2015 and was incredibly impressed by all of the detail and the scares of the park, and was interested that the same attractions 7 years ago were also the same that are up and running today. Starting with the Den of Darkness, this is a walkthrough in a pretty dark house featuring scenes of dolls, dusty dining rooms, ghosts, and more. This is an upstairs-downstairs home, forcing you to climb to the 2nd floor about halfway through the walkthrough and ascend even further as you must crawl through the creepy attic fireplace and move your way over fake dead bodies. As you go back downstairs, you find yourself in a strobe room with a maze of cloth-covered mannequins, keeping the edge going by worrying which mannequin is real and fake. This walkthrough lasts about 10 minutes and ends with a chainsaw man chasing you out of the house. Moving on to Nocturnal Wasteland, this is a really cool walkthrough with a lot of junkyard items, multiple school buses to walk through as well. The theme is basically half zombies and half weird creatures lurking in an auto wreckage. You move from the buses to a cemetery and meet some cannibalistic creatures before walking through their shack filled with body parts. This walkthrough also lasted about 10 minutes and had more of an opportunity to look around and see all the decor than the other attractions did. Finishing up with the Haunted Hayride, this is the most popular attraction, holding wait lines and wait times to up to 3 hours long. The hayride itself lasts about 10 minutes and moves the crowd through different warehouse scenes, including a cryo chamber that features different futuristic sci-fi type decor and scenery, a chainsaw slaughterhouse with fake dead pigs, a funhouse room with clowns, and a few other scenes in between. In order to get enough people onto the hayride, they fill it up by seating as tightly as possible, which prevents actors from getting onto the hayride itself, making the whole thing feel like you're more so watching a movie rather than being a part of an attraction. Moving on to the rating for Field of Screams as a whole, on a scale of 1 to 5 for Artistry, we're going to give it a 3 out of 5. Having all of these houses and all of these scenes be very individualistic, there wasn't really anything particularly unique. It was the traditional ghosts in the home, dolls in the attic, sci-fi area in the hayride. So nothing was really like, wow, that's so specific, that's so unique. It was just really cool area. So for Artistry, we're going to give it a 3 out of 5. For the production itself, we'll definitely give that a 5 out of 5. You can definitely tell that all of the budget that they've gotten over the years has really gone to improving the production itself, improving the land, the area, the parking lot, all of that. Everything is very smooth. You go through each of these houses and attractions individually, and everything leads you back to this central area. So everything is just all in one circle, which makes it for a very easy way of kind of getting around rather than where do I go, what's next, that type of thing. So 5 out of 5 for production. For customer service, we will give that a 3 out of 5. Going to Field of Screams, there just really were not that many people. I'm not sure if it was a lack of staff or a lot of call outs maybe, but for a Saturday night prime season, there were maybe 2 people guiding the parking lot parking. There's really no check-in area, so you just walk in and there's no security. There's no one that's really around. The only people that we saw were for the VIP booths if you want to increase your general admission ticket to VIP. So there really wasn't a whole lot of people, and even the actors themselves going through the haunts and the attractions, there really were not that many actors. So I'm not sure if it was a lack of staffing, it was just an off night or something like that, but due to that, we'll just say customer service is a 3 out of 5. For the environment, we'll say that is 4 out of 5, kind of the same thing as production. The environment is really great. Anybody, even the general public, is welcome to just walk right in and hang out in the general circle area, which makes for a really cool Halloween area for everybody to want to just go and hang out. But going into the actual lines and things like that, it had rained a couple of days previous, and so walking through the lines, everything in the center is all stone and everything is very smooth, and walking in the lines, it's all mud, and we had to avoid a couple of puddles and things like that. So for the environment, we'll say 4 out of 5. Nothing is perfect, but I think putting money towards the hangout area rather than waiting lines could have been skewed a little bit. For decor, we will say a 3 out of 5. Same thing as kind of the artistry. There's really nothing that is particularly unique. My same critique for Halloween Horror Nights of all of the decor and the details being there but missed because it's so dark was definitely the case here. Going through the Den of Darkness, of course, it's in the title that's going to be pretty dark, but there were areas where I got a glimpse of the things that were on the walls, and it was so cool, and I would have loved to take a deeper look or even have it lit up a little bit more so I could read things, but everything was so dark and it's hard to see the actual decor that is there. So I would say either my recommendation to Field of Screams would be either turn the lights on a little bit more or just amplify the decor that is there so that it can be seen and noticed blatantly. For the makeup and costumes, kind of going along the same theme, we'll give it a 2 out of 5. There wasn't anything unique. There weren't a whole ton of actors to even look at. Some of the clowns that were in the Hayride were really just kind of store-bought what it looked like. So there wasn't anything that was particularly unique, and I honestly didn't see any of the makeup for really anybody. So 2 out of 5 for that. And for the scares themselves, I would give it a 1 out of 5. There really wasn't anything that made me scared at all. And yes, the actors can touch you and they can separate you from your group, but all they did in terms of touching was just kind of run their fingers underneath like the bottom of your hair. And so if anything, they just kind of give you shivers, but that didn't give you anything scare worthy. As I mentioned, I went back to Field of Screams in 2015 and really held their scares in high regard. And this year, coming back 7 years later, I remembered almost every single detail, and the scares themselves were really non-existent. The scariest part was having no security. There's no metal detector, there's nothing to kind of walk through. There's no doubt in general that Field of Screams is an awesome place to hang out, but the crowd that they are attracting is very family friendly and for young teens, not necessarily for thrill-seeking haunters or any haunt enthusiasts in general. I was also really disappointed at the lack of actors. Just going through the Nocturnal Wasteland alone, I would bet that there were no more than 7 actors total throughout the whole thing. All in all, though, Field of Screams is a really cool place to hang out and take some great Halloween pictures. They have a ton of awesome areas for photo ops, but I would not really waste your time going if your intention is to be scared. So apologies for anybody who had the expectation of going to Field of Screams and getting scared or having a really great scary time. I know that you could have a really great Halloween experience, but at the end of the day, it's what do you prefer? Do you want to be scared or do you want to just hang out and have a good time? So that's totally up to you. But that is the experience overall. So thank you all so much for listening, and continue to like, follow, share, all of the above.